There we go. Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to Heart of a Hobbit here on the official Lotro Twitch stream. I'm Little Redhead. I will be your host today, your guide to take you around the lands of Middle Earth. So yeah, there are a lot of things that you can do in Lord of the Rings Online, which is where we are. You can go questing alongside the Fellowship. You can go into dungeons and instances that play a part in the overall storyline. You can gather with other folks and do socializing things like playing music, playing hide and seek. That's been a popular thing on the server recently. And also there are more lighthearted festivals that can be found happening throughout the year on in Lotro. So we just finished up the Midsummer Festival that took place in Minas Tirith. And so that one is currently over, and the next one coming up is the Farmers Fair. Now, the Farmers Fair doesn't start until August 12th. So we've got a number of weeks here. We've got about 3 or 4 weeks where we will not be doing festival stuff. So what are we going to do instead? Well, I was thinking we are out here on the Treebeard server, and this is a legendary server, so it means a number of things. Legendary servers are only open to VIPs with Lotro, and so you have to be a subscriber, whether it's monthly, quarterly, yearly, whatever it is, or I think the lifetime subscribers also count. The people who got in like back when Lord of the Rings Online started, 14 years ago. Yes, you have to be a subscriber, so you are a VIP. So everybody on this server is a VIP. Now, Treebeard is new. It started 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. No, it has to be 3, because we've done a couple of Midsummers on the stream. This is the start of the 3rd week. Okay, because it opened on a Wednesday, and there we are. Oh, hey! Hello and goodbye. Hey, real quick before you zoom off, I know you've got to go, but check this out. I don't know if you're still there. I made this scarf. So it's like got a flat bit, and then it's got a wavy bit, and then I added some more on the side. So isn't that cute? I got it from, it's just like this super simple pattern. But yeah, look at that. So much fun. So there we go. It is a fun color. I got a couple of oranges, and this is kind of the peachier of the oranges that I got. So this one was a lot of fun, and it's like 100% cotton. So I'm hoping that means it'll be like really super soft after I've worn it a number of times. And hey, I wanted to show you this one. This was the other one. Remember I was working on with the little paw prints? So it's got little paw prints going up and down there. And I finally put fringe on it. So we've got the darker side and the kind of variegated side. So that's how they kind of came out. So I kind of did a little bit more of one on the one and a little bit more of the other on the other side, because I wanted to try to have it visually look right. And then I washed it, and the tassels got like, oh my gosh, so terrible. So I'm not sure if I'm going to leave the tassels as they are, or if I'm going to braid them, or if I'm going to knot them. I haven't decided what I'm doing with them, but it hasn't been cold enough to wear it. So it's just been sitting I put it up on the wall, basically. So it's been sitting up on the wall. But yeah, so I finally finished it. So yay! It's a nice skinny little scarf too. I'm pretty happy about that. I think it'll be really good for, in the wintertime when I just need a little, like in the fall, it'll be good when I need just a little something to keep my neck warm, because I like having my neck warm. So, oh, hi! Hey! Hello, small person in front of me. I'm going to give you a hug. So there we go. And then Goldberry, she hasn't changed since probably the last time you saw her. She's still, yeah, like this. But oh my gosh, I love these colors, and the feeling of it is just, it's like delicious. I don't know. But yeah, so it's got kind of like this lighter, and then it goes to the brownish to the light, and then the darker, and then the darker. So, but yeah, I ran out of that one because that was the full cake, and I wanted to do the long version. And so I got this one. I think I showed you this before. So this is going to continue going on. And I think what I'm going to do is the storyline is, yeah, that's how they came through the Shire, and then they're going to go through the blue across the Brandywine and into the greens, which will be the Old Forest. So that's the storyline of this scarf, or shawl, once I get on there. But yeah, it's 70% cotton, and then 18% viscose and 12% linen. It's just, I just really love the feeling of these. So it's the same yarn. It's the same yarn as that. So yeah, I think that's gonna be the next one. Oh, because I was working on the blanket, I was gonna tell you, I almost got the blanket done, almost. I've got, I don't know if I showed you this before, I've got this much green that I don't have. The yarn ran out. Just that much. The whole rest of the blanket is done. I've gone all the way around, and I'm just missing like that foot of yarn there. So I've ordered some more. She's going to get me some more, and then I'll probably do another round of the star stitch on that, or I might just leave it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I know you got to run. Go do the car thing. So have fun with that. Good luck. Hope it doesn't end up costing you a whole bunch. So, but yay, thanks for stopping by. Awesome. I love showing off my stuff to you. It's fun. Yeah, the Goldberry is something else. And I know you got to go, so hopefully you can catch this later. I'll tell you that I'm doing a crochet along. There's a crochet academy that TL Yarn Crafts is doing. And right now through July, she's doing like every day, Monday through Friday, she's posting a new blog with information about like, hey, today let's talk about hooks. Okay, today let's talk about yarn substitutions. And it's been really wonderfully informative. And then in August, she's got 4 projects to do as crochet alongs. And so I'm probably going to do 2.5 of them because one of them is a hat and scarf. And I'm good for scarves. Or scarves that I want to make. So I want to make the hat though. The hat actually would be a good exercise for me, and it might be a good one for me to wear if I like it. So anyway, so yeah, I contacted the yarn shop here locally recently today and was like, hey, these are the yarns that they're suggesting, and they're acrylic, and I don't want acrylic. So trying to get some substitutions and some yarn that I can use, and they're going to get me there's a brand here in the Netherlands, because I live in the Netherlands, for those of you who don't know. And there's a brand here. Oh, thanks, honey. Putting the link in the description there. So there's a brand here, Shapius, it's sheep, Shapius. And so I really like this brand, and I've really been enjoying, this whole blanket is made out of that brand. And so the yarn shop, she's going to get me more of this, but for the bulkier size that I need for the crochet along. So that is going to be cool because I really love working with that yarn. And so I'm excited to be able to make the TL Yarn Crafts stuff, but with this yarn that I love so much. So that's going to be good. I'm quite excited. And that's going to be after the move because we move the first week of August. So from a scheduling perspective, just so those of you who like to plan ahead, I will be here through all of the Thursdays of July, but the first Thursday of August, I'm going to take that day off. That's the plan, and I know I'll get to the point where I'll be like, well, maybe I can do it. No, I should just not do it because we're moving that day. Furniture is moving that day. All the small things are moving Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Thursday the furniture moves. So it would be insane for me to try and stream on that Thursday the 5th. We're not even going to try and do that. So that will be a non-Heart of a Hobbit day. So there we go. Okay, so we're on Treebeard, as I was mentioning. And so yes, as Just Right mentioned, July 1st was the first day of Treebeard. And there's also a pairing server called Shadowfax. So Treebeard, we are at reduced amount of experience. So we are sitting at, where is it? Is this one? No, subscriber buffs. It's going to be one of these. Oh, we have a virtue experience gain right now. Ooh, nice. Okay, so we're earning 40% of the experience that you normally get from monster kills and crafting and quest completions. So that makes everything go slower. It's a brand new server though, so these are all new characters, all new, learning everything. Yeah, but then again, okay, so what you can do on these 2 servers though is test out this new difficulty slider that they came up with. I know they call it a slider, but really it's like you pick one and you stick with it is what you should do. So we have chosen, Affodil and I, and we are doing Deadly. Where's Deadly? Why is Deadly not showing up here? Let's see, that's not, maybe it's this one. Nope. Where is it? So anyway, it's in here somewhere that I've chosen Deadly, which means that I get, well, maybe it doesn't have a thing. Oh, because I'm in an instance. Right, okay. We'll have to leave the area and there'll be an effect on me. That basically, because I'm on Deadly, things are harder and they're going to attack me harder. It's harder for me to hit them back. And like, it makes it more interesting in that regard. But I get bonus experience to kind of make up for it. I would have been okay without that bonus experience actually, because I don't know if you noticed, but I have a halted experience. We went and bought Turtle, the Stone of the Tortoise, because we were gaining experience too fast, even still. So right now we're turtled at 18. Because I'm VIP, means Wenda will want to talk to me, or I will want to talk to her, I should say. So let's grab our subscribers jug and our subscriber town services, because those are super useful to have. So you talk to her once, you get the quest, you talk to her a second time, you finish the quest, and she gives you the 2 items, not the wood. That was, that's not part of this gift. So we got these 2 items. So I'm going to take my subscriber jug. Glug, glug, glug. That means I get no item wear from any combat, from crafting, and from defeat, which is fantastic. It also accelerates your crafting time. So instead of going 1, 2, it's like 1, 2, 3, it's a lot faster. It's wonderful. Okay, and then I also get, my subscriber town services, which is basically everything I might need in my pocket. So I'm gonna slide this puppy down here, and it is good for the next 48 hours. So when I open that up, it shows you that I can sell things in the shop. I can open my vault, I can open my shared storage, I can open my wardrobe, I can go to the auction house, I can do all of that on the go. It's fantastic. So, all right, and the other thing is, if anybody has ingredient crates out, which my lovely neighbor does, you can pick up ingredient crates. And the premium one is only available for premium users, for subscribers, and because we all are on this server, that's fantastic. So basically that one gives you 6 universal ingredient packs, and this one gives me 3. And here, I'll show you here's the information that basically it contains, they automatically bind to your account, and it says they're worth 1 copper, but you can't even get it out of your, well, okay, I suppose that's sort of true, because if you go to make something, so let's say as a woodworker, and I want to make this crossbow, and it's like, oh my gosh, I don't have the boards, I don't have the wrapping, whatever. Oh, I can use some of those universal ingredient packs that we just got. And in this case, this crossbow would cost me 1. I would use up 1 of my packs. I would just make it, zoom, zoom. And then the item itself is bound to my account. So I could open my subscriber thing, open my shared storage. I could toss it in my shared storage, and then one of my other characters could have access to it. So that's kind of nice. And you can use it to make your guild level stuff. These universal ingredient packs, I mean, it's a wild card. They can use it for anything. So that is pretty neat. Oh, reminds me though, shared storage. I have a universal enduring toolkit, which I love those. And I only bought 1, and I have 4 characters. So they're all sharing it, as well as the bags. So I'm just putting my bags into my shared storage every day, and then grabbing them back out so that way they just take turns with it. Okay, did you say, yes, you can get both versions of the crate. So you've got the regular crate there, and that gives you 3. And so it's actually 9, because you get 3 out of that one, and you can get 6 out of the premium because it's doubled. So you can get 3 plus 6, so you can get 9 of those universal crates per day. And you can do it with every single one of your characters. So I have 4 characters. I can get 9 per day and so 4 times 9, so 36. So I can get 36 ingredient packs every day. Though, yeah, they do have to be at least level 15. That's a good point. Yeah, so if they're not level 15 yet, the ingredient crates, they can't even look in them. They don't know what that thing is. Did you say you went to Bree?
Yeah.
Awesome. To Buckland, Bree, by any chance?
I'm on the prancing pony.
Oh, you're on the prancing pony. Well, let's go to Buckland. Use your milestone. I have a milestone to Buckland. So I thought what I would do.
I thought you were going to the deadly person and see them in UI.
Oh, we'll go talk to him later. I just used my milestone. Yeah, I'll show you guys what the UI with the deadly thing looks, because there's a patch. So there's multiple different options you can choose within the difficulty levels. And it's basically a quest. You pick up the quest and you're like, yes, I want to do that. And he's like, are you sure you want to do that? And you're like, yes, I want to do that. And so you finish the quest, and that's how you do it. So then you have that quest, and it applies to you everywhere you go except for instances. There it is, the little cross swords thing there. So I have chosen the deadly difficulty, which means I have chosen to face a more difficult challenge in the lands of Middle Earth. I get 20% experience gain on monster kills and plus 5% virtue XP. So that's kind of nice. That ain't bad. So we are in Buckland because we have been doing completionists throughout Middle Earth with these characters, with just these 2 characters. My other 3 are not. So what we've done is we did, well, here, first we went over to, well, at one point we went into Eredluin and we did all the quests of the intro through Thorin's Gate and all the way down, all the dwarven stuff. And we did all the, prologue, intro quests, prologue quests, I guess I should say, of the elves, and led us up to then the combined, finishing that. And that sent us off to Bree. We also did the Shire ones. Did I just click on Falthorn? I did. Let me just try that again. And then we also went to the Shire, and we did all the Shire quests. In fact, I think we finished... Did we finish everything in the Shire? We're mostly finished with the Shire, but not everything. So because that's all, the level that we were working on. So that's all pretty much done. So now they've sent us off to, Bree. We had to go and talk to Strider, and then we had to talk to his friend out here and there's like birds and there's, stuff happening. And so at this point, a lot of them want us to go into the old forest. And so I thought we would go into the old forest today. Although you are taking us away from the old forest. What are we doing out here? Let's see. So these are all the quests I currently have. It's pretty amazing. It's like, wow, I have a mini level, lot fewer quests. Oh, but I am a foresting type person, so I'm going to pick up that branch that we just stopped by. So what quest are we working on?
Unwelcome strangers in the Shire.
Unwelcome strangers. Okay, so collect farmer maggots produce. There's a brigand stockade north of the road between the Brandywine Bridge and Adso's camp. Will Mac Brandybuck awaits you inside the Hay Gate in Newbury, Buckland. And Hay Gate. He's asked you to retrieve Farmer Maggot's produce from the ruffians who accosted him. Okay, so that's where we are headed. Now you'll notice, so we're capped at level 18, and the Undying title is still available to us. We haven't died yet. Hopefully not die on stream today. But you'll notice that like everything we're running through here is red. Like we're in some dangerous stuff. Now, thankfully, Affadil's really good at yelling at things, and I'm pretty good at shooting at things. Oh, I will tell you though, one thing if you're playing on this harder stuff is having food is hugely important. We didn't, like in these early levels, I usually just am like, yeah, food, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's been really important. It's been a key to some of our survivability out here, which is crazy. All right, so do we have to, no. That person doesn't have a box, so where are we gonna find some boxes? They must be laying around, or the people inside have them. Let's see, yeah, this is the right area though. Oh yeah, we have to go find the bags of produce, huh? Okay, neat. don't see anybody in here. I wonder. Oh, it looks like they disappear when somebody grabs them, so we'll have to take turns. Possibly. Oh, it's just one each. Okay, well that was easy.
Want to do a little combat on the way?
Sure, let's go do some combat. So we'll grab some task board items from these people. Okay, so you'll notice you had like a little flag that popped up. So that is interesting. Oh, you know what I haven't done is I haven't put post. Yeah, it's like a corruption buff that they have. Hang on just a second before you get to the next. Okay, never mind. So one of the things that happens is the Eye of Sauron is paying attention. And so you'll notice I've got like a little eye here. My arrogance has caught the attention of deadly powers. So there used to be an eye floating over my head, but part of this week's patch that they just did like a couple hours ago was to change some of that. Because, oh, like that. So there's a box on the ground. I did not make it out in time. But that's okay. So you'll notice that I took some damage by being in that box when it went off. So that because I was attacking that animal, the Eye of Sauron noticed me and basically, you know, tried to do some damage to me. Now, it was also creating like a drunken effect. And so a lot of us turned off our post-processing effects. So I'm going to put mine back on. So now I should be able to have a better shot with, yeah, so the graphics, you know, it changed the graphics quality of things, taking off the post-processing. Like the water didn't, you know, isn't going to look as pretty and things like that. So we're pretty sure that, yeah, the patch was going to remove, it said it was going to remove effects, like FX, what's the abbreviation, I forget. But yeah, so the special effects. But they weren't specific. But a couple of weeks ago before Cord went on vacation, oh, we're in a box. And I'm not moving. There we go. He was saying that they were thinking about removing the blurry effect. And the eye was glitching out because you'd get this eye over the top of you, like a big arrow pointing at you, kind of like that, but if it was an eye. And it would stick around. Like you'll notice that Eye of Sauron that is in my buffs, it's only there for another 53 seconds, but it would stay over your head for like ever. There was a time when I got the eye, I was out in combat, and then I went to go do like festival in Minas Tirith, and I ended up with the eye because I didn't get back into combat anytime. So it was on me for like the next couple hours or something. It was really, it was kind of odd. So yeah, so we think there I'm in the box again. So you'll notice like a box shows up on the ground there. And if you're in it, after a couple of seconds, then the big, you know, rain of fire comes down upon you. It's a little scary, you don't want that. Oh, hey, I've got a bunch of stuff that we need. I need boars and bears and bears and boars and wolves. You know, all sorts of stuff out here. This is great. Cool. All right, that's 3 pristine boar heads for me. And 3 out of 8 boar shanks. Shanks for that. So the box, you want to keep an eye out for it because it can do like a third of your health, you know, down about that much. Yeah, and then if you don't have any good regeneration on, oh my gosh, because I've run into that as a problem. Oh, like there's a box. You just ran into it, honey. There we go. See, that's what happens. And you'll notice Affadil's health jump down. But she's got some good regeneration foods on, so she should be coming back here pretty quick. And she's a healer. She's a minstrel, so, you know. Yell at that, yell at yourself. Yell at that, yell at yourself. So see, there's a little flag on there. So they had a extra effect on. I'll try to click on one the next time and see if I can get the effect. Yeah, take off the tooltip, yeah. Oop, box. So that's what we do is we holler to each other, box. Because we're trying to make sure we don't end up getting zapped. Because sometimes there'll be multiple boxes kind of stacked near each other. They're just slightly offset one from the next. Okay, let's see. Can I get that? And then that's your Call of Orome. I didn't catch the other one. Okay, so they had a whole bunch of stuff. So they had a resistance, corruption 18. Oh, because they were level 18. This monster has become enraged by your insolence. I'll drop a trap. So minus 14.5% incoming melee damage, minus 14.5% incoming range damage. So basically they were immune, or they were receiving less damage, box, and immune to most disabling effects. And they got extra run speed. Expires if out of combat for a short amount of time. So yeah, it's really interesting that then they are getting buffed while we are getting nerfed. Yeah. It's really created an interesting set of challenges, and it's been great. Like, normally when you're, level 18 and you're hitting level 15 stuff, you're just like, yeah, whatever. But no, I was actually having trouble. I was having trouble with, I have a hunter, she's like in the late 20s already, and I was having trouble with her, and oh my gosh, it was kind of a little crazy. What did I do? I was running around by myself, and I was having a hard time with it. Now, I will admit that I'm like not the best, right? Like I kind of go for my skills that I'm comfortable, familiar with. I don't necessarily know like the optimal chain ever. I just have fun with it, right? I don't spend that much time worrying about it. But that means I die a lot sometimes when I'm by myself. So that's been entertaining. So what I would do is I would pick out one enemy, because I was trying to farm some hides, and like higher level hides. I was trying to go for like the medium or the sturdy. And so I would put down a trap, put down my deadly decoy, and then I'd get the thing's attention and get it to come over to me. So that would take a couple seconds of the time, the counter for the trap to start to go off. And then I would put down a tripwire, so they would just stop, so they wouldn't attack the decoy. And then they'd have a couple more seconds of being awake before my decoy would explode, and then that would take them out. So that took a while to take down one thing basically at a time. Like, it wasn't anywhere near as fast as this. So I had to come up with a whole new strategy basically on how to take things out when I'm running around by myself. As a yellow hunter. Of course, if I'd gone red hunter, I mean, I could do it differently. If I was blue hunter, I could just kite them forever. I mean, you've got options, obviously. But I wanted to play with minstrels are deadly by default. But I want to play around with yellow. I'm really having fun with that, and it's very silly. So yeah, I like it. I'm gonna grab those. Oops, I was going for the branches. I swear I was. It took me the other way. Okay, that's 9 out of 10 bear hides for me, and some branches over here. So yeah, brand new server, right, as of a couple weeks ago. And so, you don't have like a ton of materials lying around. You don't have all that infrastructure that you often get once you've been on a server for months and years and whatnot. Even if you like go to the auction house, there's not as much stuff there. And if what there is there is reasonably cheap, but that's because, like, for example, look at this. All 4 of my characters total, I have 11 gold. That's all. Like, yeah, the income. Now, somebody in our kinship was like, "Hey, I got 45 gold." I was like, "What have you been doing?" Now, to be fair, we have been helping some of our kinmates buy housing. So sometimes we like save up, buy a house, save up, help somebody buy a house, that kind of thing. So we've spent some money on housing. That's true, and I like the bigger houses. So we bought the deluxe housing, which is like 7 and 8 gold each. All right, I need 2 more borshanks. I still need 2 more. Yeah, so we are doing the quests currently around and from Buckland. Here, let me get rid of that. So in the Buckland area, and I know those quests often get kind of ignored because you're just running off to Bree, and then you're running off to the Old Forest, and Adso's camp and whatnot, but you don't spend a lot of time hanging around Buckland except for to turn in No Time for Tours. So this is kind of exciting because we are currently doing like every single quest we come across, and and it still doesn't get us maximum reputation with the factions. So that's really interesting because I know later in the game, because we've been doing some late game stuff, or later game stuff, on Evernight with our 130s, level 130 characters. And yeah, it seems like if you do all the quests of an area, then that completes the reputation for that faction. Any sign of a boar? Oh, yeah, I could look. There's one there. I was going for the branches that are a little further on here. All right. That's 8 of 8 boar shanks for me. So if anybody has any thoughts or questions, yeah, pop into the chat. Let me know what you're... Yes, you're good at slaying, not tracking. You are very good at slaying. I'm appreciative of that. I think I have everything I need out here. So yeah. Oh, box. Awesome. So here's an interesting thing too, is so that person just ran through there, and if they are not at this difficulty level like we are, that box just totally ignores them. Like they don't get hit by that as far as we're aware.
Probably if they're on a stable master mount too.
Yeah, they're probably on a stable master mount. But it's an interesting thing that we're not, I think if you are running around as a mixed group, like if let's say, you know, they're running on normal and you're running on deadly. Oops, I didn't mean to shoot that bird. It's a hunter thing. We just shoot things randomly. Awesome. Take me away before I shoot again. That yeah, it'll hurt us, but we're pretty sure it doesn't hurt others that are not at the difficulty that we are. Now, it's possible though, if you're running around with somebody else and they trigger a box and you are running at that level or higher, then you would get hurt if you were still in it. It's been interesting. Like, we're all obviously still figuring this out. And it's I don't know, it's kind of fun to be in a new space and with people who, you know, I mean, there's people who've played this game for years and years. There's people who are brand new to it. Like, you know, it's your typical mix in Lotro, and it's been really cool. So now we have oh, hey, there's a slimy thing here. Hey, slimy river slug. What are you doing here? Oh, do I have 2 of you chasing me? I haven't even been paying attention. Do we need these slugs for anything? Oh, well, I don't know, but he did some damage to me, apparently. All right. I think I'm not going for that mushroom. That's a dangerous mushroom. I'll go for this one. I know, but... Really? Why are you attacking me? I'm just trying to eat the mushrooms. All right. Put a decoy down. Anyway, so yes, if there's anything you want to talk about in the chat, any questions you have about what we're doing. So as I mentioned, we are playing on Treebeard, which is the slow progression server. We have a level cap of 50 for the server. It's our understanding that they're going to leave it at this for the next like 5, maybe 6 months. I'm hoping they go the longer period. Because basically if you take the other servers, which were Ithil and Anor, those servers were also legendary servers, and they were progression servers. So over time, the cap would slowly increase and slowly increase. And it got to the point where basically the cap would go up, and there'd either be people who are like, can we go faster? Or there's people who are like, can we go slower? So they, SSG, I know they wanted to get this progression thing out to play with. And so I think this was their answer to that in multiple ways, to basically like, yes, you can have a way to go slower or go faster, whichever you prefer. Because Shadowfax, they've got like 50% bonus experience or something like that. So like, I don't know, everybody's just zooming up on Shadowfax. It's kind of wild. But yeah, so we are on the slow server and totally enjoying it because we're checking out every nook and cranny of the game, which is fantastic to me because there's so many slugs. There's so many slugs is what's going on. But there are also, like, every blade of grass, somebody had to make these decisions, right? Like, you come across a little building in the middle of nowhere and it's nothing going on. Like, you're not being sent there for a quest. It's just, it's just some building in the middle of nowhere. Some developer, like, made the decision to put that there. And, like, I don't know. I enjoy getting the chance to go and see all these things that are out there in the world that you might not come across other times. I have all the mushrooms I need, by the way. I'm good to go. Okay. So, welcome to the chat. So, yeah, for those who are just arriving, we are on the Treebeard server. We're playing Lord of the Rings Online, which is the slower progression server. And, I didn't open my Hobbit gifts today. Hey, I'm going to do that real quick. I should do that. So what did I get? I got a legendary rune of legend. Oh, isn't that great? You can't use those until you get your legendary items, and you can't get your legendary items on this server until Moria opens up, which will be the next thing. That'll be the first expansion that they'll open up here for us. So that'll probably be like December-ish maybe. So, which isn't that far away. I mean, December's going to be here really fast, honestly. So, all right, we found his produce. He thought he had lost it, but now he has other concerns. Rollo and Doderick, oh no. He's worried about Rollo. He and Doderick got back from looking for the brigands, and they headed down toward Brandy Hall to speak with Saradoc, Doderick's uncle. They were none too happy and wanted to speak their minds on the job the Bounders are doing. Now, it's just possible he ran off with his friend Doderick on some lark. I wonder if you'd do me another favor and go over to Brandy Hill to look for Rollo. Brandy Hill is at the center of Buckland, south of the Buckland Gate. Hopefully Doderick's uncle, Saradoc, the master of Brandy Hall, will know where the boys have run off to. Okay, so we will do that. And then it looks like these folks that we were doing some quests for, these folks are helping out with Adzo's camp. And so they had some things they wanted us to do for preparing that area. So Adzo will be pleased with this delivery. We will salt and smoke the meat, and it will serve as the center of our food for men within the inn. Thank you for taking the time to collect this meat for me. Have a reward. Yay. And then Trumrick, which I read as turmeric the other day, so that was kind of funny. I mean, it's a hobbity thing, right? Spices and food, it totally makes sense. Anyway, so look at this bountiful fare. You certainly held up your end of the bargain well, friend. I shall do the same. The ovens at the inn will smell like the finest ovens in all the Shire. This is a fine day. See, turmeric totally works. All right, and trophies for the walls. These are excellent samples. I am certain that the taxidermist can make these into fine items befitting a lodge. Not my style, but sure, whatever. Adzo will be quite pleased. Here is your payment, and thank you for your assistance. All right, and now turmeric has something else for us. Now, see, these are quest level 15, so we kind of over-leveled for the area. Every day we've got blue bar coming in, a little extra XP bar, down at the bottom. And so I have been advocating for us to unturtle until we go through that. And so then we get right up to the edge of the next one. And so that way we're ready to bump up. We'd go ahead and when we're like, yes, let's go to 19, we're just like, shoot, done. Yeah, level 18 against level 15 mobs feels fair on Deadly. I mean, it is still extremely within range. We could make it harder on ourselves by being level 15. but we also enjoy our time. And so it's that balance between, making it hard enough to be fun, challenged, but not so hard that you're spending a lot of time and you're like, wow, it's like, 4 hours later and we've gotten 3 quests done. So, yeah, so there's that. All right, so he says, I must say, I never expected the outpouring of generosity we have received. Certainly, we have paid for the services we've been given, but the harvest is so great we have no means to transport our goods to Adso's camp. I must ask you a small favor. Just outside of Brandy Hall, so another Brandy Hall vector, to the south there is a stable where I have seen Tolly Brockhouse, the local woodcutter, speaking with folks. I am certain that he'll be willing to help. Could you speak with him and see if he can spare a wagon for the trip to Adso's? Let me know what he said when you are done. Okie dokie. And now they're all like, hey.
What can I do for you?
So, yes, the salts will keep the meat for some time, but I fear without a proper place to smoke the meat, we'll only have cured meats and no smoked meat. We could really use a wagon. What's Ted say?
Hello.
I'm still trying to figure out how you were able to carry all those hides and other items. Adventurers are resourceful folk, it seems. I think we shall need a wagon to get our goods to Adso, and soon the carcasses are growing ripe. Yeah, that was kind of something we were joking about, actually, yesterday. Do I want to see your impression of a Buckland cow? Okay, let's see that. Moo. While you're stuck on top of something. Fantastic. So we were talking about that yesterday when we were picking up all these quests, because they're like, go get 10 of these and 5 of these and 8 of these. I'm like, I'll just stuff them in my pockets, no problem. But it's kind of funny, right? The idea that really all the stuff they send us out for, like, we would be coming back with a wagon full of stuff. So I'm amused that the quest kind of is poking fun at that. And the fact that, yes, we would be coming back with a bunch of stuff. Okay, so we're coming up to the Brandy Hall area, which is, what is it, Trouble in Tuckborough? Is that's the location for that. Oh wait, west of here? Which one is this? There is a instance though, right? Isn't this the place of that instance where you go? It sure looks like it. It's not exactly the same though, is it? I don't know. Anyway, it reminds me of it. Okay, so Rollo and Doderick. Maggot's farmhand sent you about Rollo? Then the boys did not heed my advice and follow their own wills. The fools of a took. Fools of a brandy bucks. All right, it's strange you should be asking after Rollo, especially at this moment. The tweens came to see me, upset by the lack of effort the Bounders are doing here in Buckland with regard to the strange big folk moving about. I told them that the Bounders were doing all they could to keep that unsavory lot out of Buckland, but the pair were adamant about being heard and kept yammering on about the old forest. I warned them to stay clear of the forest because Tolly, our woodcutter, said that things there are queerer than ever. Tweens can be foolish, and I fear that the pair have been more foolish than normal. Doderick knows his way to Bald Hill and not much further. If you're going to be looking for Rollo, you'd best start with Doderick, and you might as well tell him that I'm waiting for him too. All right, so we gotta go. So it's interesting because the Brandy Bucks are kind of like the landed gentry of the area. Like, this is all moo. Nice. This is like, a whole set of warrens of houses for the Brandy Buck clan, who are kind of like, the folks in charge around here. So yeah, it's kind of interesting that that you get to see that in person. And if you're just running through, you don't necessarily think about it, but I don't know, it's come up a few times in conversation recently, so that's been kind of cool. Okay, so there's what they call it, the hay wall, hay. So that's our border into the old forest. We're gonna go in. Are you talking to somebody? Oh, hey, there's somebody to talk to. Hey, Tully. Oh, this is the wood guy. Sharing the load.
Is there some...
No, this is okay. Trumrick Ragwort needs a wagon. I suppose I could spare a wagon and a couple of mules to share the load towards the camp. Trumrick is a good fellow, and will surely return them when he is done. With the trouble we are seeing in the old forest, it seems unlikely I will have need of all my wagons in the foreseeable future. Tell Trumrick that I will send along a driver, 2 mules, and a wagon by sundown on the morrow. I should expect that he can have it back to me within a week. If you're looking to help out around here, there is plenty to do. I expect you are not incorrect. Okay. So one of the quests we picked up was kind of a prelude to something called Woe of the Willow. And he gave us some jars of, like, was it smelly stuff?
Citronella.
So, yeah, it's like basically citronella. That we're setting up jars of foul-smelling brew along the road to ward off aggressive wildlife. So it's like citronella for wolves, you know. So we're placing these jars out along the road. Oops, I've gotten something's attention, or you have. Yikes. I didn't even notice it there. It didn't show up on my radar. Interesting. Okay, but we do need wolves of the old forest, so there we go. All right, so we're going to put in a jar here. And there is some wood nearby. I might go and see if I can't snag that. Oh, hey, and a savory mushroom. Oh, the wood's gone. They must have been picking it up. But there's a mushroom here. I'll grab the mushroom. All right, so we need to pick up 8 mushrooms in here. Oh, that's why we're seeing wolves. They're hiding, I think. So, all right, so we'll do that, and we'll do that. So, see, I knock it down. Place a jar real quick. And then, so the problem is, he destroyed it. So that was the problem I was running into yesterday, is that if I got too much damage from, you know, the other creatures, they would destroy my decoy, and then the decoy doesn't explode, and it doesn't do any damage. And then I'm stuck fending it off myself. I think my food's expired. Yeah, I'm gonna renom some foods here. And we've got both of the cooked food and Bjorn's honey cakes. So I gotta remember to take the honey cakes as well from time to time. All right, so here we are in the old forest, and let's see. I think I put down the jars. Oh, there's some wood. Did they already get it? Oh, they're getting it right now. Ah, well. Oh, there's another mushroom. I need mushrooms still. How many of those do I need? Oh, we need 8 of those. Goodness, well, that's 2.
We'll find them as we adventure.
Okay, we'll find them as we adventure.
This is a growth point for-
Yeah. Do we want to look for more wolves?
look for all sorts of things.
Oh, we've got some gloom wings in here, some bats. Do we need bats? Here, oh, we've got a thing. Got a box. Hang on, let me move. Yeah, let me switch Affidel to be the fellowship leader. Transfer leadership. Okay. That's convenient because sometimes, like, we'll run across somebody, and Affidel is way faster on the keyboard than I am to, like, invite them to join us or whatever. So the map in the game, it seems to show where pathing might be, but it is, it's not accurate. It's like, you know, the old forest, things move. And so you can't rely on the maps that are known of the old forest. People do what they can, but, you know. The old forest is a sneaky place. Okay. Oop. Come on back. There we go. All right. Where to? I have 3 mushrooms so far. Nom nom. Nom mushrooms. Oh, I was going to change my boots. In the game, I mean. I have some fancier looking boots I was going to try and put on. Okay, so, oh, I must be in the middle of a box. I just saw that red X around me. There. Oh, well. And in running out of there, I actually got the attention of somebody else, because that is what happens. Okay. So I think that was part of their intention, right, is to, because you know, it's so easy to just kind of stand in one place and stay out of the way and whatnot. But once you've got that Eye of Sauron area effect happening, it forces you to kind of move around a little bit more. Ah, hey, there's a flower over here. Did you do that on purpose? No. Aphrodite's really good. There's a map online that they found that is pretty good with the representation of where the walls and everything are in the Old Forest. And so, yeah, I just let Aphrodite take me through the forest. There's times when I'm like, yeah, I could go find the flowers, but I'm not going to. I'll wait for Aphrodite. Because, oh my gosh, I get turned around in here sometimes. All right, well, here's one. Looks like I'm probably going to get attention. Yeah, so I was putting down a decoy the other day for the birds that are out by that, by the ranger that, you know, has been ridden down by the 4. And you have to go and defeat like 4 Crabane and then go back and talk to him. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, this will be easy. I'll just put down somebody had just run through and they dragged off like 5 of them. So there was like 3 or 4 right there. So like, perfect. I'll put down a decoy, boom, boom. They'll, you know, they'll come, they'll attack it, but they won't be strong enough to defeat my decoy. Perfect. Well, they rubber banded, the other ones did. So not only did I not just have those 3, that turned into, I think, 4, but then there was like another 5, and they just consumed my decoy after no time at all. So, yeah, that didn't... 6? So that didn't work out as well, because then we were running away from, like, you know, a horde of birds. So that was pretty funny. Like, you know how you could go up, right up to where he is, but if you keep running, there's like there's more height, and that's what we did. We just kept running. Okay, that's all the mushrooms I need. So any mushrooms we find are yours at this point. Yeah. And let's see, we're still working on the wolves, which I can search for if we get to that point. Oh, excuse me. I made lasagna today, and it was so good. I ended up having 2 big servings of it, and now I'm getting a little sleepy. It's like, you know, a holiday. I'm trying to use up stuff that we have in the pantry, because I don't want to, you know, the less that we have to move, the easier it is for us. Oh, we need these guys. So I had like a couple of lasagna noodles and like a partial bag of spaghetti noodles. And so I was like, okay, fine. So, you know, I'll just use them all up together. So it was pretty funny. I ended up doing like, yeah, a layer of lasagna noodles and then some vegetables. Oh, I'm in the box. Yeah, that was unfortunate. You know, and some cheese, and then like the layer of the spaghetti noodles. It was pretty funny. But it turned out really good, so that's all right. I think really though for me, lasagna is really just a cheese delivery device. Like all I really want is the cheese, the cooked cheese, and like how it gets on top and it's kind of like a little bit browned on top. So good. Yeah. The rest of it's okay too, but the cheese is the best part. I've had like a spinach lasagna in the past, and I don't know how to make that, but it was really good. So I might have to look into learning how to make that. When we move, I'm pretty excited. We're gonna have a garden area, and so I got like some little seedlings or some seeds from the grocery store. They had a special dealio going on this summer where like you got a little 2-pack of spot, and you can put like had the little dirt thing that you make by pouring water on it. It turns in from like a little puck until it's like, you know, a big puff of dirt. And so yeah, I was so I did one of those, and and they're little pairs of things that work well together. So like it was a spinach and a coriander, and I got them to grow. They were doing great. So it was time to move them out of the little box into a plant pot. So I did that, and they were doing great. And then I put them in the window, so they, and they were they were like reaching for the sun every day. And then one day, I don't know, it was just too much, or I don't know what happened, too much wind, but they just started dying, which was really sad. So now I've got dead plants again. But I'm hopeful that, let's see, did I get the wood? I got the wood. Cool. Yeah, I'm hopeful that I'll be able to take another one of those packs, because I got ended up with 3 that were spinach coriander. So my hope is that I'll be able to do it again after we move, and maybe plant it in the ground outside, and then I will have spinach growing and coriander growing and stuff like that. So here's hoping. And I'll come up with all sorts of yummy things to do with that. Because there was this chicken recipe that I had that uses spinach. And I rarely use spinach because I just don't have it around. But if it was growing in the backyard, I would just go outside and get a little bit of it. That'd be pretty cool. So I'm excited about that. Tell ya, I am such a hobbit sometimes. There's no joke about why the show is Heart of a Hobbit. Me and my hobbity ways. Oh, we're gonna get exploded on. Yeah, that's okay. Luckily with our foods, our regen is good. So as soon as we get, so our regeneration of our health is not so bad. So even though we get damaged, our health is coming back pretty quick. And, I'm sure the minstrel has something to do with that too. Wait. Do I need to purge the goop off of you? There we go. It's so weird, because I play hunters a lot lately. That's my jam recently. And, box somewhere. Oh, it was me. Oh, well. That's nice. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. I don't have hardly as many of my skills. You'll notice I've got all sorts of crazy stuff on here. I've got, how many horses on my bar, because I couldn't decide what mount I wanted to use. And I don't have a whole bunch of pets on here, but I've got, 4 spots taken up with, health potions and stuff. You need that in this. Because it's really funny. So you'll notice that most of the time we've been running around here, we're at pretty full health, right? And that is definitely a testament to the food regen and Affodil doing a great job with with keeping us healed up. But if we get into something where it's real touch and go, yes, pew pew, our health can drop dramatically and very quickly. You can go from, full health, just missing a little, doing all right. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. It goes that fast. It's really crazy. Oh, whoops, I didn't finish off. Okay, I did. So I've ended up going through health potions, and you'll notice I've got those, wolf time, okay. I've got the ones that you get out of boxes and from the Hobbit gifts and whatnot. Normally I just throw those away, because I level so fast that by the time we get to something, the better health potions are available, that you just get off of landscape, and or if you somehow don't get enough off of landscape, you can have a scholar make you something. So it's not usually a problem. I usually don't need these, and they just end up taking up space. Well, they don't share the cooldown, so I can use the simple Aphelis essence and one of these morale potions at the same time, because they don't share cooldown. Seen any wolves? I could look. We can look for wolves. Nope, that's the wrong one. That's it. He is this way, in the opposite direction from the wood. That's okay. We're doing fine for wood. If we see one, there's probably going to be more over here. Is my guess. I think he's on the other side of that big tree. I did see the other people running through here. Yeah, oh yeah. So that's a really interesting thing too, is because we're level capped and because everybody here is really excited about doing things at a slower pace and all of that. So you run into more people. Like we just saw a couple people running through the old forest, probably on same quests as us, right? And there was people turning stuff in, the same quests that we were doing. So that's been really, really fun because, yeah, normally you don't get, yeah, it seems like you're kind of off on your own and you don't necessarily run into people, especially in these early levels. And then especially also as the world gets bigger, like as they get bigger, more and more expansions open up, you know, it spreads people out more. Yeah, it's been just a real kick to be playing in this playground and staying at just this level 50 and seeing how many people are here playing around together. You're in a box. Speaking of, so we have, for example, 400 non-anonymous people right now. I do know there are people running it anonymous. I don't know how many, obviously, because they're anonymous.
10,000.
So it could be 10,000 people here. There could be. I'm gonna guess we're not at 10,000 people on the server at this time. Maybe 1,000 though. That wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Do you want me to look for wolves?
I'm good.
Oh, okay. Oh, indeed.
Forest wolves.
I am too. Okay, neato. What else do I need? Let's see, forest investigation. What's that one? Okay, we gotta go find Doderick at Bald Hill. And the woodcutter's tail, we need a bucket of sap.
The map isn't terrible for this part.
So, yeah. So we're basically following the map that Affadil has. And,
The in-game one's not bad.
oh, the in-game map isn't bad along here. Yeah, okay. It's like we're on a path. And then we're gonna go, yeah, it's close. It's pretty close. There's a path that leads you from Tom Bombadil's house, which isn't on my map because I haven't found it yet, and then back out. And sometimes I find it and I'm really happy, but
And we're on a path
the
right
times I don't find it make me sad. So, hello. We've got a bunch of people in the chat that have joined since the beginning here. So we are running around on Treebeard server, which is a new legendary server. And it is a slow progression. Currently the level cap for the server is 50. So nobody is running around here at level 130 or anything. It's all very, very low level stuff, which is great. Okay, he says, Uncle Saradoc is waiting for me? That bodes ill. I wish Rollo would hurry along. I cannot leave until he returns. We were chasing a brigand through here. We saw him sneaking about the gate and thought we'd best do the bounder's job for them. I confess that I lost my nerve as we crested this hill, and I saw the full scope of the forest. Rollo is a different sort, though, always comfortable to wander through these winding trails. There is an abandoned cottage near the Withywindle, southeast of here. He made mention of heading that way, but that seems like hours ago. Perhaps you could find him there and tell him to hurry on back. Sure, and at the same time, I'm going to tap on Maple. I don't think this is a time quest. Okay, good, it's not. Sweet. I got some bucket of maple sap. Nom nom. Can't see the forest for the trees. It is quite the forest. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not lost in here. That would not be fun. I would not find that as enjoyable. Now, some people enjoy getting lost and then trying to find their way back out, sure. Not really my thing. So, how's everybody doing today? Are you enjoying the servers you're playing on? Yeah, sure. You know me, I'm a sucker for picking up stuff in the ground. I usually pick it up, though, in areas where I'm probably going to come back to, because then it might have turned into yarrow. me see. That's more my plan. We'll be around. It's likely. All right. Oh, there's a couple of woods to our west if we end up going that way. A flower! Yay! This is Cordophonith's flower. Okay. Oh, I guess we're going with this guy. Cool. Oh, wait, can I get to the wood? Hang on. Yeah, there's some branches right here. I can get it. I'm gonna see if I can avoid those other things. Don't mind me. Just picking up stuff in the ground. And this one's on the other side of the rock. Weesh, it's a big rock. Can't use my fancy elven jumping for that. I've been playing a high elf here. Okay, sure. We're gonna attack a tree. Oh, you know, we didn't do the thing. Here, I'm gonna put down a decoy. Let's see if we can get it over here. Come here. Come here, tree. Come here. Come here, come here, come here. My decoy might be too far. Might be just in time. Kabam! Tree down. Take out a tree with dynamite. I don't know if it's considered to be efficient, but it's effective. It's great. So at one point, yes, like shooting trees in a barrel. So I was trying to get some the lowest level of hides yesterday, and with my hunter who's a little bit higher level than this one. Yes, I'm playing two hunters on the same server. And one's a Hobbit and one's a high elf. And so I'm trying to keep them somewhat equivalent in terms of where they are in the storyline, in case there are times when I'd rather play a Hobbit or times when I'd rather play a high elf. So, see, it all makes sense. So anyway, I was doing it with the Hobbit, and she was running around the Shire. My cabbages! And I ended up in that wolf's den that's not too far from that farm. I forgot the lady's name, but the farm where it's been taken over, and her chickens, you gotta go save her chickens. So anyway, so I was taking care of the wolf's den nearby, and so I would put down a decoy somewhat near one of the wolves, and it would get that one's attention after a couple seconds, and then I would like shoot one, and it would come and shoot one, and then shoot one, and so like by the time and it would take them like a couple seconds to come in, and the decoy explodes at around 13 seconds, it seems like. So I was so by the time they'd get in there, I'd had about 5 of the wolves surrounding the decoy, but they didn't have enough time to take it down, and so then it would explode, and then all these wolves just kind of fall over. So it was kind of cool. But it only worked because I was so much higher level than them, I think. Because she's also on deadly difficulty, I'm pretty sure. I think only one of my characters I forgot to get it in time. I'll have to double check. So it's interesting. Okay, so if you haven't figured this out, you get a that's the wrong line. Let me pull up. In your deed log, you get it's a class deed that you have signed up for, basically. So if I achieve 50th level playing through on hard difficulty or more, oh, your health is like at half. Hang on, we're in combat. Get that out of the way. Okay. Yeah, see, I can't just ignore combat, right? I have to actually pay attention here. Okay, so yeah. If I achieve 50th level, which I can do on this server, playing through on hard difficulty or higher, I would get the title Apprentice of Bows. And that title applies, that's the hunter title. So yeah. And and the title is account wide. So I could use that on any of my characters anywhere that I'm playing. Oh, you put it on? Oh, because you got somebody up there? All right, I got up there. That's funny. So yeah, so she got a hunter, and so we ended up creating alts that are farmers because we wanted to do a whole bunch of stuff with those ingredients, like making the food and, work on scholar stuff and whatnot. So she has a hunter that basically got to 150 by farming, and I have a rune keeper that I got to 150 to 50, just 50 by farming. It wasn't like our plan; it just kind of happened. So she's got Disciple of Bows, and that's the other one. So that's if you do hard or higher. Now deadly is harder than hard, is more difficulty higher. So that then opens up, if you get to 50th level playing on deadly or higher as a hunter, then you get the account-wide title Disciple of Bows. And each one is different. So like the Runekeeper one, it's like Disciple of Runes or something like that. Yarrow! Gotta grab that when you can. Stuff is precious. It's almost as precious as mithril. All right. I love my scholars. So gotta support the scholars. You can't die with mithril, as Frodo found out. Ha. Oh, I see a flower. Thank you for leading us to another flower. And some rhubarb. And a cabbage. My cabbages. We've been watching Avatar again. The Last Airbender. That's barrow iron. I don't want that. I want the wood. There we go. Are the servers still so laggy? I don't know. Yeah, yesterday they were having some lag issues, weren't they? Although I didn't even notice. So I don't know if it's just I don't notice these things or what. I may be getting a little bit of lag, but that's because I'm also streaming and recording. So, and we have two of us that are using the same internet for all of that. But yeah, Affodil says they're not having any problems at all. So I think if you're seeing any lag on my screen, it's probably just because of the intensive amount of stuff that I'm doing on my computer with between the streaming and the recording and playing. Yeah, so I was saying they had issues earlier. I know that yesterday some people were having lag issues. So, you died. Oh. No, you don't have to. Well, it depends on what title you're going for. If you're going for these titles I was talking about, you can die a gazillion times. They don't care about that. If you're trying to get like the level 20 Undying title, then yeah, I guess there would be that. You want the Undying title. It's so funny. There's so many people who are really into the Undying title, but I rarely see anybody wearing that title. So I hope a lot of people start wearing it on this server because I know a lot of you are working really hard to get it. And so y'all better be wearing it. You should put that on. All right, so we have found Tom Bombadil, and he says, hey now, what's all the fussing? We've not had so many guests since our wedding. There is time enough for bird watching, but perhaps first a song or two, me hearty. Because remember, we've been sent to find out where's these bird spies, where'd they go? And he says, let your heart fly free and put aside your worries. You are at the house of Tom Bombadil. All right. I do like being at the house of Tom Bombadil. So he says, my Goldberry is away at her spring, and I was going lily hunting. I've no time for chasing birds, but now, Aragorn's a name I know, and a friend of old Tom's. Hear then my offer. While old Tom Bombadil looks for sour crows, you'll gather lilies for my lovely. I saw some along the river, just a hop and a jump away. Just follow along until ring-a-ding-dillo, you'll find old man Willow. You watch that old gray willow man. He's a mighty singer. He'll sing you down to sleep and drown you if you don't be careful. So, which is what almost happened to the hobbits. So, yep. Okay. So we are gonna go and get some lilies. Now you'll notice we haven't run across the bingo boffin. Yeah, thanks for the great advice, Tom. Go to the murder tree. We haven't run across the bingo boffin storyline. You may have noticed. Because a lot of times I'll do them both in conjunction with each other. But, let's see, not that one. Let me bring up my quest log. So if I go to my completed quests, you'll see that I do have Ballad of Bingo Boffin. So it started off with the call to adventure, and then it went on to training for the journey. So the last thing we did with him was he tried to climb the stock tower and he gave up, and we went and met him in the Golden Perch in the town of Stock. And he's like, haha, raising mugs to my mouth is way better way to get strong, haha. But he does need to learn how to swim, or he thinks he needs to learn how to swim. So we are going to meet up with him for that. But they're doing a cool thing on the server, what I didn't expect, which is they are releasing the Bingo Boffin quest each week like they did originally, apparently, when it came out. So by the time I started playing Lotro, it was well after the Tom Bombadil, or sorry, the Bingo Boffin storyline had happened. So what are you doing over there? Oh, okay. Cool. I'll come with you. So, yeah, so it's been kind of fun that they've brought that style back. So each week we get a new bingo. So there should be one today. We haven't gone over to check. Actually, we're not far. When we go done, we should pop over to Stock and see if he's still there. Okay, so you lost your Undying title. It was really unfortunate. You started a Defender quest in Staddle. Oh, yes. It's like a level 12 quest, but a lot of people, yeah, it's a tough one. It's the, what's it called? Falco's Garden, I think. And yes, you have to defend. It's in Staddle. You're like waiting for the mayor or the head guy there. And yeah, lots of people are grouping for that. I have to say, like, yeah, it was wild. Like, you know, because I keep track of what's going on in the game, and you know, like somebody like the looking for fellowship group and stuff like that. And it came up one day, and somebody's like, you know, looking for fellowship for Falco's Garden, and I was like, what? I don't know this instance. I'm not familiar with this. And it's people are grouping up because that one is a toughie. You thought you were level 15, so you thought it wasn't a problem. And that's what I'm saying about this server. Like, it is insane how you can go from, in fact, I'm gonna food up again because we're in combat area. You can go from everything's been fine, you've been not having any troubles, you know, la-da, and then all of a sudden, like, boom, it catches you really, really fast. That happened to a friend of mine. I was like level 18. So I lost the Undying total on one of my other characters. Yeah, Rosenbloom won't get Undying. We still haven't died yet. We're at 18. It's another reason why I'm like, I'd like to get to 20 soon. That way we don't have to worry about it. Then we can throw ourselves off the prow at Minas Tirith or something. All right, so, oh, this is Rollo. He went running off to chase a brigand. He said, he tried to kill me. I'll gut you like a fish and then your girl, he said. Or I'll make certain you never see your lovely again. I didn't mean for this to happen, but he threatened Celandine. I couldn't let him hurt her, could I? All I wanted was to get the notes I wrote for Celandine from him. You can't treat people like that. Good, honest hobbits we are. We don't want to hurt nobody. I'm going to stay here and give him an honest burial at least. Could you tell Doderick that I'm all right? But please don't tell him about any of this, will you? Could you take these two, show them to Doderick? He'll understand. This doesn't feel the way I thought it would. I find this is really fascinating. Like, a hobbit actually killed somebody. And that is just, like, so unusual. Yeah, the fact that this happened and he is just, like, beside himself and not really sure what to do about it and how, you know, this was not what he expected at all. I find that really fascinating that they wrote that in there. So, and don't tell anybody. Like, he's, like, ashamed of the fact that he took somebody's life, you know. It's like, fair enough. So, all right. I don't know though. I know you're saying that, you know, you wouldn't have died if there hadn't been lag, but I don't know. Like that that defend quest is pretty tough. Like it's like 3 rounds of those brigands that come in, and each round is a little bit tougher than the one before. So when we were doing that Staddle quest, we got there and somebody else had already started it, so we had to wait our turn kind of. And so we just helped out. Like, we were helping attack the things that were coming because we know how difficult that quest has been for people. So yes, it's possible that you wouldn't have, but it's also possible that that would have taken you out. You wouldn't have been the first one on the server to lose the Undying to that particular situation. So I would say group up if you go back to do it again. Yeah, we know somebody who restarted their character 6 times because they really, really wanted that Undying title. It's like, okay. Yeah, and that's true. They're not inexperienced. Like, they have multiple 130 characters. They do raids. Like, you know, they're not new to this. And they got taken out. Yeah. Like, one time they made it up to, like, they were, like, level 13 or 14. And paired up with my character who was level 18. And we thought we'd be okay. And we were doing bears. And I lost the aggro. Bear went for her and took her out. She was down like almost instantly. Like, it went so fast. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this server, nothing is certain anymore. It's really interesting. So all right, so he says, "Lily's white for the river daughter, stronger than Hobbit folk you are if you outsang Willow Man. Not a lily crushed nor leaf bent. Old Tom's a merry fellow, but he knows when it's time for dancing or to go a whiting. He's found your birds, and none too soon. If you seek them out, then seek them now, unless you wish to sleep beneath green grass." So, black birds flitted and fluttered, skipping among the branches. They came to rest where the restless walk. Beware the old barrows, they stir when they should be a-sleepin'. Go north up the path and follow the old barrows road, then south within the barrows wall, along the forest eaves. Hey, do, merry doll, and there you'll find them. Watch the lady dreary. Now hop along, me hearty. Tom's a-goin' leapin'. All right, so Tom's got stuff to do. The barrows. Are you mad, Tom? So yeah, so Marigold Boffin is up there, but Bingo is nowhere to be seen yet. Was the murder tree not enough? That's funny. So are you restarting to get the Undying title? You are? I guess you did say that you are restarting. You have to start over to get the title. That's so funny. Well, good luck. And I definitely suggest when you get to some of those more difficult things, definitely think about grouping up to make it more survivable for all of you. I mean, I guess you could skip the hard quests, but, you know, if you're going for the challenge, you might as well go for the challenge. Come here. Come here. What? Why are you not paying attention over here? There you go. Yeah, you should heal up. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. I'm missing a food. I think I'm gonna have a cake. You can grab the rhubarb. All right, there we go. Honey cakes are up. All right, so what do we have in the old forest that we're working on right now? So yeah, because we've been doing completion stuff, we pick up the quests in the area and we do them, and then we turn them in and we're done. So our quest logs have been crazily empty. It's really kind of cool. Oh, hey, there's some branches. Grab those. Thank you. Yeah. So anybody have any questions about what it's like to play on the Treebeard server? Or any questions about Lotro? Or festivals? The Farmers Fair is the next festival that's coming up, so that's exciting. Let's see. Let's see, events. So over in the Lotro forums, there is a thread that's always kept up to date by Cord with the dates of the festivals as they are happening throughout the year. All right, we're gonna talk to Doderick real quick. He's like, "Oh, so glad to know that Rollo is all right. That is such a relief. What's this? Maggot's notes to Celandine, and there are some references here that make it seem, because he has a crush on her. No wonder he wanted to recover these from that man. Here, take them on to Celandine. She should see what Rollo thinks of her." Okay. Sure. And then poor Dinadas. He'll be a defeated hobbit. Oh, hey, there's some branches nearby. We'll do that at some point. You'll get to see my favorite joke in the whole game. Heavy ash branches too. It's heavy, man. All right, got the branches. Hey, Dorito. I know that the Tom Bombadil, when they added the Woe of the Willow instances, they needed to get Tom's voice, and instead of finding a voice actor with a similar voice, they went a different, they got a voice actor who has a different voice instead of the same sound. And so they had to, or I guess they made the decision, a business decision, it would appear to me, to then, have the new voice actor go back and record stuff for the old Tom Bombadil stuff. So when we were just interacting with Tom Bombadil there, you might not have heard, but he was singing and stuff. And yeah, it's a very different voice than what was there before. I like it. Like, I remember the other day people were talking in the world about it and complaining about it, but people like to complain about things. So I don't put as much stock into that. But yeah, I think it's, I don't know what's different about it. The old one was more, I don't know, they're different. They're just different. I mean, but Tom and Bombadil is such an anomaly within the story itself, right? And he's like, is he, I mean, he's older, what is it, Treebeard says? Something about him being older than something, right? So like he's been around a long, long time. And he doesn't fit into any of the categories. Like, he's not an Astari, he's not, a man or an elf or a dwarf or a hobbit. It's like he's just Tom Bombadil is what he is. He might be a Maya, right? We don't know. So okay, so Woodcutter's Tale. Thanks, friend, for all your, what's this? The sap, it's already gone bad. And my seasoned wood, it's rotted. And these mushrooms, they're poisonous. Friend, you can't be blamed, but all this is useless to me. Well, at least he gave us money for it. He says, all the things you've gathered from me are useless, rotten, and ruined. Something queer is going on, what with all the animals all upset and the forest seeming, well, more awake than usual. There's a wise old hobbit, a forester who oft camps a ways into the old forest. Look for him beyond old Muddyfoot's hill, which you can find southeast of the bonfire glade. Maybe Gilly knows what's going on. I'd appreciate it if you talk to him. Gilliman Brandybuck, that's his name. I'm worried. We had to burn part of the forest when it got too uppity years back, but this is far worse than it was before. If the Bounders have to start another fire, they might destroy the whole forest, and then where would we be? Indeed, that doesn't sound like a good thing. All right, let's check out these folks over here. Since some folks have problems alt-tabbing, I populate my bios with a truncated version of the events calendar. Oh, Ungladden and Avernite. Oh, that's nice. That's a really nice way to do that. Clever. He says, I look forward to not hearing howls in the night. Thank you. Okay, you're welcome. Hodrick, what do you need? Well done. Here's your fee. Okay, thanks. And Brumbald? Looks like you've been busy in those woods. Well, a promise is a promise, and you have earned this well. Right on. So the funny thing is we're going to be back here for the Bingo Boffin stuff. So, giant spiders are a menace to everyone, but there have until recently been only a few in the Old Forest. Now their webs can be found in many places, and we are worried that they may soon spread to endanger everyone. There is a tunnel through the high hay, east of here, in case we haven't been in there previously, to do the 3 quests that we had to do to unlock that quest. Silly Hodrick. Although, I guess, yeah, we could cross the Brandywine and say hi to Bingo. Let's go cross the Brandywine and see if Bingo is hanging out in the pub. Or in the inn. I think he's at the, in stock at the, oh, I can't remember the name of it. Okay, we'll drop off some other quests on the way. So we'll go see if Bingo is hanging out in stock, still drinking. Golden Perch? Yeah, that makes sense. That sounds right. Been drinking for a week in there. He's going to be well done. Hopefully he's had something to eat while he's been doing that. Oh, hey, Celandine. All right. Hello there, she says. Oh, these are notes on the old forest from Rolla Maggot. Oh my, the boy is sweet on me, it seems. He is such a wonderful lad. I had never noticed this before. Thank you. I will be certain to put these to good use. All righty. Oh, and Will Mac. You found him. He's coming back soon, and I can finish all I set out to do. Thank you. For that you deserve something. It may not be much, I fear, but here, please take it. If it is of use to you, you have no idea how much you have helped me. So I can grab mushrooms, eggs, or carrots. I guess I'm probably going to sell them, huh? So I'll just grab one of them. It doesn't matter. They're all worth the same. Because Affadil there will make me some good foods. All right, and Trummick says, Tolly will help us. This is wonderful news. We'll begin preparing the crates for loading and should get on the road by morning. We truly could not have done this without you, friend. Please take this. It should cover the cost of travels and a little bit more. I am concerned for Tolly, though. What trouble could there be in the old forest? Indeed, well, I don't know. You have done so much. I think it is time to meet the Hobbit you have been helping, Adso Haybank. You will find that he is a caring fellow with much on his mind. His camp is difficult to miss, as the work is happening right along the roadside. You will travel east along the Great East Road for some distance, about halfway to Bree, before you arrive. When you get there, you should be welcomed. Thank you again. So we're going to go say hi to Adso at his camp at some point. It's so funny. It's a vector. But we've already been there. Oh, and this guy out here. Whoa, the willow guy. No, I don't want that. I want this. There we go. Wolves attacked you on the way to the bonfire glade. I'd wager they were as panicked as the other animals we've seen. At any rate, I can't say it'll be pleasant venturing into the forest for the time being, but better safe than sorry. Oh, there's something more. Something strange is at work here, he says. Root and rot. No doubt about it. It won't be easy for us bounders to get to the bottom of this. Our numbers are stretched thin enough as it is. If you're able to investigate, we'd welcome the help. Before you go, talk to Marigold Boffin. I'd wager she's just outside of Newbury by the river shore. She seems to know the forest more than most folk around here. So we'll talk to Marigold in a bit. We're going to go see if, yeah. Yay, Marigold. We like Marigold. Yeah, she's an adventuresome hobbit. What's up? Oh yeah, I have noticed those because I was worried about that I'm going to get myself caught on them. I get caught on doors and lampposts really easily, and rocks. Sometimes small shrubs. I am very prolific at this. It is a talent that I have. That I don't mean to foster it, but it certainly is a good one. It's yeah, I have skilled up in that one. All right, the golden perch. And there's Bingo, and he's ready to talk to us. Yay. Hey, Bingo, what's up?
There is nothing for it.
All right.
You must learn to
Sink or swim. He says, I have knowledge, supplies, and strength, and they will serve me well on my journey. But there is one more thing I must master before my adventure begins, and it is not something that comes naturally to hobbits. I must learn to swim. Have you seen the number of rivers on this map? Whoever drew this map must have been quite fond of the things, because there are squiggly lines and little ponds all over the place. There's nothing for it. I must become a master of the waterways. Speak to me when you are ready, and we will go down to the Brandywine and practice. All right, so this is going to take us into an instance.
I'm as ready as I will ever be.
And he says, yep, all right, I'm as ready as I will ever be. Let us walk down to the Brandywine and practice being fish. So we're going to travel down. I like that idea of putting the schedule into your bio. I might do that. I might steal your idea. That's a good one. So it's funny, the voiceover on that area that we just came in, it's, Bingo has to learn to swim. It's the guy who's, I just forgot the character's name. But he's later on in the Bingo Boffin quest chain, so that's kind of funny. So, okay, he says, well, here we are, Otho. Time for this hobbit to learn a new skill. So we're going to provide support to him, cheer him on. Rah, rah. Go, Bingo. You can do it. All right, so if I open up the Lotro schedule, the stuff that's coming up, we've got... Hobnanigans is coming up. Oh, it's going to be the week I'm taking off. That's too bad. And Farmer's Fair. Well, I'll put those in. Okay, so let me open my bio. Is this how I get to it? Yeah, biography. And I'm going to edit that. And we'll put this in. Oh, we have to talk to Bingo. Hang on a second. Can I have a word? Have as many words as you want. It occurs to me that I might have made a slight error in judgment, and I have perhaps not dressed entirely appropriate for the cold, frigid waters. What do you think? Do you think perhaps I just need to warm myself up? Possibly get the blood flowing? That's a capital idea, my intelligent high elf friend. All right, so we're going to stay out of his way while he runs around and warms himself up. Okay. All right, so Farmer's Fair is there. Oh, you know, we don't need... Let's see, there's Hobnanigans. Do that. And then the 25 XP boost, I don't need to have that in there. But I might say upcoming events. All right, that's a good start. We'll leave that like that for the moment. Okay, so Bingo, are you warmed up? He says, I'm a bit warmer, but the water still looks cold, and now I just feel tired. You think maybe this is just a bad spot? Maybe I should try another place on the bank. Good idea. All right, we'll cheer him on. So I do love how there's like all these other little hobbits like hanging out, kind of watching him like, well, how's this gonna go? Maybe here will be better, he says. Good luck, Bingo. I don't know, he says. Let me get a picture of that. It's funny. Yeah, he's trying to find a better spot, but he hasn't found a better spot yet. He says. Somebody says, what if someone swam across first as a demonstration? All right, let's see. That sounds like a good idea. Yes, that might do it. I will watch you swim, my adventuring friend. All right, off we go. Whee! Swim to the other side of the river. Here we go. We're swimming. We're swimming. We're swimming. And you get pretty close. It says your muscle aches, but you have put on a fine demonstration. Thanks, Bingo. So return to Bingo and see if your demonstration helped. Okay. Hey, there's some lilies. Yay. All right. Hey, Bingo. He says, that was incredible, my friend. If you can do it, I certainly think I can do it as well. It says, talk to Bingo, but don't let him drip on you, which I find funny because I just got out of the river, you know, from swimming across it. So I think him dripping on me is the least of my problems. Look at him go. He says, I'm swimming. I'm swimming. I did it. Did you see me? Your feat was pretty good, but I'm afraid my own may have shown you up some. Now that was a true display of swimming prowess, wouldn't you say? And then later on, he's like, yeah. I am drenched, but I am happy, my friend. Let us return to the golden perch and dry off. Okay, off we go. Hello and welcome. So, all right. So we're back in the golden perch. There was no harm in the joke, was there? I wonder what joke he's talking about. Okay, so
I think that went fairly well.
he says,
Let's avoid rivers anyway.
yeah, I think that went fairly well. You might not have had a great look at it, but I'd say I mastered the art of swimming remarkably quickly. He seems to be looking everywhere but at your face. Just for fun, though, I think I'll avoid rivers while on my journey. Dry land makes for a more interesting trip, I'd say, and it would be a shame to take the easy way and float across every river that squiggles its way across my path. You understand, I'm sure. So then you pick your title, whether you want to be the buoyant or the sinking stone. Maybe the buoyant. I rarely use these titles, but I find them amusing. Okay, now you'll notice he doesn't have a ring, so that is the extent of our adventure with him for the week. And I know I got my title, the buoyant, but I'm also an apprentice angler. I think I'm going to stay with the apprentice angler. I've started fishing on this server because, you know, why not? You're bored of the game, but you paid for a BIP. Can you get a refund? I have no idea if they issue refunds. So I am not an SSG employee. I am just a volunteer. I am playing the game and having fun playing the game. And so I am just streaming. In fact, everybody who is on the official Lotro stream here, we are all volunteers. We're just fans of the game. And The only person who streams regularly on here that is an SSG employee is Cordovan. He's the community manager. He streams on Fridays, but he is actually on vacation right now, so he won't be streaming tomorrow. But I mean, you could email them, but I mean, generally, if you pay for something, if it depends on if there's a money back guarantee, maybe. But I would say generally, when you buy something and you use part of it, they don't generally let you turn it back, return it. But you never know. Maybe you could reach out to them, and maybe they would be able to help figure out what it is you're not enjoying about the game, and help you see if maybe there's other things about the game you might enjoy more. I mean, there's so many different things you can do in the game. Like I don't know, what kinds of things do you like to do? And yeah, I mean, and Lotro, you don't have to pay for it. It's like there is free to play in the game, so you can always, anybody can always test it out and play it at the free to play without having to pay for it. You don't have to go VIP. I do because I like the benefits that come with it. So okay, we're gonna stop and talk to Marigold here, and Root and Rot. So we're working on that one. And she said, "So the Bounders need our help? Well, I reckon I know where to start our search. I saw the strangest creatures mucking about in the forest. They were very small, tree-like almost, but not quite. Tough and fierce-looking too. All the animals stayed away from them. Whatever those tree creatures are up to, it can't be good. I'll show you where I saw them. Let me know when you're ready." Oh, is this another travel quest? I don't think we've done this one. Oh no, it's a solo. She said, "At least we won't be spending another second stuck in Buckland." I guess she finds Buckland boring. Was that your problem? Did you spend all your time in Buckland? All right, so this is a solo instance and cannot be completed in a fellowship. Do I have any max level characters? I do. I have one. Over on Evernight, I have a 130 character. I've been taking my time with that one too, though, and so currently I am in Minas Tirith. A hunter. I have a hunter also. So she says, "Okay, I didn't think we'd be so lucky getting here without being attacked by forest animals. The place where I saw those tree creatures isn't far from here. Don't worry, I know the old forest like the back of my hand." All right, so my job is to defend her. She's a level 20. I'm a level 18, so here's hoping. Oh, I didn't do my food. Whoops. All right, well, next time we're... All right. Oh, right, because we're in an instance, though, we don't have the Eye of Sauron issues, and so we shouldn't have difficulty like we do out in landscape with the difficulty that I'm running on. So here's hoping we do all right. That's what I was saying. It's a higher quest than the level that we are. All right. All right, Marigold, stay still for a minute. Yeah, I know, she's not going to stay still. All right, Marigold, run off. I'll catch up. I better run after her. Yeah, watch out, she says as she's surrounded by wolves. Lady? And a vengeful fell spirit. Oh my goodness, what are you doing, lady? Causing trouble. Oh, whoops. You tried it before, but like other RPGs can be boring sometimes. Leveling up is tough. Well, if you're trying it on one of these legendary servers, if you're trying it on Treebeard especially, yeah, leveling up would be tough. It would take you quite a while. Oh my gosh, Marigold, what are you doing? Now, I was leveling up actually too fast, and so I have put on a an experience limiter. So I'm not earning any experience right now because I was leveling too fast. I wanted to go a lot slower in the game. But like if you're at the beginning of the game and you're just starting to level up, doing stuff that's on level or near your level, like within 8, will get you experience. If you do stuff below your level, you get less experience. If you do stuff above your level, you get more experience. But it can also be kind of difficult to do stuff above your level, it can take you a while. Oh, she says, "Wait, I see the tree creatures over there." So yeah, and it takes some familiarity with the game to get a good sense of where to find quests of your level. I mean, you could always ask in world chat. People in this game, so the Lotro community is is not like your normal MMO community. It's a very friendly in general community. People are usually very, helpful. So if you're like, hey, I can't figure something out, or hey, this is an experience that I'm having and I'm not sure what's going on, you can always bring this up to world chat. And even if people are in a stupid conversation, which happens from time to time, usually they will be people, either they will stop and be like, oh, let's help you, or that conversation will continue, but other people will jump in and be like, oh, you're having this. Well, have you tried this? Have you tried that? So people aren't going to just like give you everything. Like if you're like, man, I'm having trouble getting money, they'll be like, here's some ways you could work on that. They're not going to be like, here, have a bunch of money, right? So, the Lotro community definitely seems very much about like, let me teach you how to fish. And they're very good about that. So, so I would say, if you're like, come in, give people information. So you're like, hey, I'm level 8 and I'm just having a heck of a time, leveling up. Be like, oh yeah, well, people in World Chat will be like, well, have you done this? Have you done that? Like, even on this server, it was really funny because, and most people who are playing on a legendary server, they're VIP. So most of the times, they're people who have played the game before and, have some familiarity with the game. And there's people that are like, hey, I'm level 15 and I've run out of quests to do and I'm in Bree and I'm wondering, what should I do next? And we're like, why are you level 15 and why are you in Bree and how would you not, like, we're like, did you do everything in the Shire or did you do everything in Ered Luin? Or, and that's because, especially on this server, because our experience is reduced, you do have to do more quests in order to level up. But on a normal server, if you're like level 15, you're like, gosh, I got nothing left to do. We're like, I don't think so. Like there is multiple zones of stuff that you haven't touched. I can guarantee it. Because from a starter level perspective, so this would be stuff that's like level 5 through, let's say, level 15. Archet, Combe, Staddle, all the quests there you should be able to do. And then if you go to the Shire, the entire Shire is open to you. Plenty of quests there. Ered Luin, all the quests in this entire region are open to you. I guarantee you, if you've done all the quests in those areas, you will not be level 15 unless you've put on a experience inhibitor. You'll be well above that easily. Now, once you over level quests and they're gray, you don't get, like from mobs, you don't get experience from defeating mobs, and the experience you get from quests is really little. So. And absolutely, I agree that MMOs are more fun with other people. Like Affadil and I play together all the time, and it really enriches my experience. We started on this server when it opened, and we have found other people on the server, and we've got a kinship going, and we found some really great people that we're grouping up with, and so you'll see somebody like in kin chat, they'll be like, hey, I'm gonna go and do this quest. Is there anybody else who's around that place and wants to go do these quests with me? And so we're making opportunities to gather with each other, and we have a kinship where that's the style of play that we like. There's definitely people who like to be solo, who just want to like max out their gear, max out their stuff, go out there and just be like, rah, I can do everything by myself. And you know what? That's great. If that's what makes them happy, absolutely. And then there's some people like I said, like myself, who really enjoy playing with other people. I find the experience is that much more richer for me when I'm playing with other people. So that's part of it too, is learning what's your play style and finding other people in the world who share that play style, because that can be really helpful. So, so you're saying that main problem is there's almost not enough low-level players, and you can only level up until high-level instances or also social activities. Without social component, it gets boring really fast. After many quests, you get tired. Where you can level up. Yeah. So yeah, and that's one of the things about the live servers is because the cap is 130. A lot of people. Well, I wouldn't say that's true. I would say that there is a group of people who are clumped at 130, and and they do the raids and they do all the daily things that you can do that are at max level. I would say though, there are so many people like the alts that you have, the other characters you've created, or new people who are joining, or people who just aren't really interested in that top, in that max level experience. Like there are a lot of people running around in the world, but they tend to be like you can on the live server. I can get to like level 45 without paying attention. Just doing various things. And I do festivals though, and festivals give you a lot of experience. So I'll be like, I'll start a new character to hold things, to be like a storage alt, and then I'll take it to the festival because I wanted to get at the mount, and then I want to buy stuff, and so everybody's doing tokens, and next thing I know, my character's level 45. So that happens to me on World a lot, on regular world, on the live worlds. So you'll find a lot of people who have characters in the like level 45 to like level 80 range. But matching up where you are in questing or where they are in questing can be a little bit difficult. Yeah, so some people just love getting to that cap level. And some people like me are more interested in the journey. And when I get to the cap, I get to the cap. I really don't care when that happens. So I'm really happy that Treebeard exists because it's really the play style that I am looking for. So speaking of, I really should probably keep going here before my foods run out. So what have I got left here? I've got fortifying, I've got my trail, and I've got one of my cooked foods. So let's get this going. All right, Marigold. You're going to kill me here, aren't you? All right, it looks like they're talking about something important. We can't fight all three of them at once, but if just one leaves, I'm sure we can stop the remaining two. So for now, we're going to listen to their conversation. It might help us figure out what's going on. Okay, we're going to eavesdrop on the trees for a minute. I'm counting on you to have my back. Oh, Marigold. Oh, man. Now, that's also a good point. B4 points out, too, that you can find what's called slowtro groups, which are people who are going slow on Lotro. And they use a thing called the Stone of the Tortoise, which is what I have on. This is an item. You have to buy it in the store for Lotro points. It's like 100 Lotro points. But it disables your experience. So you're not earning any experience from no matter what you do. And that is another great way to gather up with people for questing. All right, lady. Let's see if we can manage to not die. Yes, they're not going to ruin the forest while we're here. That's our hope. We're going to stop you, by goodness. Come on, decoy explode. Whew. Okay, good. Ha, I doubt they ever fought anything as short as me, she says. Okay, good. Well, this day keeps getting stranger and stranger. If ghosts are being drawn to the forest because of a sword, we need to find it. The Bounders are already worried about the forest animals. We don't need to add Barrow Down ghosts to that list. At the very least, I know someone who might be able to help us. I'll take you straight to him. Okay. Gosh, I wonder who it could be. Who might know this forest better than anybody else? Let's leave before another ghost shows up. I agree. Let's get the heck out of here. So yeah, and we were leveling up is definitely a challenge if you're new to it, but Lotro is for the most part about the journey. Oh, thank you. Even if you choose not to continue as a VIP, you can play on the regular server completely free. That is true. Yeah, you can play as long as it's not a legendary server. All the regular servers, all the live servers are completely free. And because you paid money, it did give you some benefits that unlock some things. So like your money cap would normally be 2 gold, but because you paid money at least once somewhere in the lifetime of playing, your cap is 5 gold. You're now what's called a premium player, so that unlocks a few other things for you. So, yeah, even if you don't continue your VIP, the game is still open to you. It's still available to you anytime you want to play. So, yeah, finding a kinship is a great start. I agree, Rear Willow. I giggle because we're in a kinship together. All right, so Tom Bombadil just wandered off because he does that. I was trying to talk at you, man. Yes, Tom phoned his Goldberry River Woman's daughter. Okay, let's see if I can get to talk to him before he skips again. Root and rot. Okay, a fellow tall, a cruel sword, the wicked dead a calling. By my boots, both I've spied close to Old Man Willow, he's saying. A scar, a blight on forest green, the trolls, they spread their mischief there. But stay a while, to other paths you may turn and yet be safe. Old Tom must be a-going to gather lilies for his Goldberry. Oh, so, okay. Seek you to break the sword? Old Tom won't stop you, but don't you go alone with that old man Willow still singing. His song today is darker now than it once was, dangerous and mean. Hop along, little friends, let our Hobbit show the way, and steer you clear of danger's fell. But if you can't, stay strong and stay safe. So if you do the quest, if you go and do the Woe of the Willow, what you get for that is a Morgul Blade trophy. You get a title, Keeper of the Trees, 2,000 virtue experience, and some more reputation with the Malum Society. I am going to say we don't do that today. I would like to do that after we're level 20.
Yeah, talk to Marigold.
But we can talk to Marigold and see what she has to say. She says, wood trolls, well, that's a first for me. Not many hobbits have faced trolls in the first place. She's very excited about this, you know. She's an adventurous hobbit. I should have guessed Tom wouldn't be interested in coming with us, but no matter. We can find Old Man Willow on our own. If you have friends you want to call upon instead, I'll stay behind to watch your backs. Once you've figured out what you want to do, we'll be on our way. So, complete Woe of the Willow on any difficulty. We are not going to do that today. Yeah. So what they're indicating to us here is that they want us to go into the instance finder and find Woe of the Willow, which I'm not level 20, so I probably can't even do it yet. Because this server is capped at level 50, there's a bunch of things that are not open to us yet. So, which is fine with me. It gives us a chance to do a lot of other exploring instead. So, all right. We're coming up on like the last 5 minutes here. And let's see. So let's see what else is going on here. So you're saying another problem is language, because many players don't speak any of the language available, or they're not native. And so to enjoy the quests, they have to think much more than English native speakers do to understand. Yeah, true. Okay. Yeah, because Lotro is done in English and French and German. And then I guess there's also like an unsupported Russian client. Where people are basically doing their own translations. So absolutely, that can definitely make it more challenging if one of those languages isn't a language in which you are fluent. Yeah, so I mean, it's like, it's a catch-22 in some ways, because like on the one side, right, you want to be able to put out as good of a product as you can. And SSG has a very small team. Like most studios running a game of this scope have like, I don't know, like hundreds of developers or thousands of people or something like that. And I don't know specifically, but my understanding is SSG is running with like maybe dozens of people. So it's a much smaller company for a game of this scope, right? Than maybe your average. So on the one hand, you want them to be able to focus on the things that are going to provide for the widest amount of community. But on the same time, you want to be able to, support people as best you can. Like if they were starting the game today, would they have a German client and a French client? It's hard to say. I can't imagine, just knowing business as I do, right? Like I wouldn't necessarily think that would be like the greatest place to put your time and energy. But yet back when there were European servers being done by a European group, Codemasters, and then SSG it was Turbine at the time that had it, and they were doing it in the US on different coding. And so at some point they brought those servers to co-locate, but there's still code between the two that doesn't talk to each other. So that's why there's still European servers and US servers. So like, for example, there's people often ask about a Spanish language, which would be really great because there are so many Spanish-speaking people across the world. Also, Chinese is a hugely spoken language throughout the world, or there's a huge population, at least. If you talk about like the number of people who speak a language, of course you have to pick. Do you do Mandarin? Do you do Cantonese? Like which one do you do? I get the language thing, and I understand where you're coming from. I am lucky in that English is my first language. And so, yeah, I'm really lucky because I'm able to understand if there's nuances in the game, I kind of get where they're coming from or what they're trying to say in few words, that kind of thing. So, I get it. But yeah, oh my gosh, as B4 points out, there is so much text in this game. The plugin developers that are just doing that for fun on the side have also, have to make the decisions themselves. Like, do they just do it in English? Do they also do it in German? Do they also do it in French? Do they also do it in Russian? Like, yeah, it's really fascinating to see some of those behind the scenes things that I've been seeing watching plugin development happening, for example. So Russian, Spanish, yeah, like I was saying, yeah, there are lots of Russian speakers, there are lots of Spanish speakers that play Lotro. Absolutely. So I think if they ever expand the number of languages, I expect that Spanish might be like pretty high in the priority list. But I think if they were to do that, they'd have to bring on a team because, oh my gosh, could you imagine trying to take this game from where it is right now and translate every single thing in the game? And it's not just like a straight up one-for-one translation. Like, it's not like you go, hunter, okay, hunter equals, hunter over here or whatever. It's like, there's so many things that are different from one language to another. Just the sentence construction and, do you have, place names, people names, every little bit of text, every hover over for each one of the items that exists in the game, all these little, flavor texts that pop up. But then there's also things like, I just can't remember the word all of a sudden, but you've got masculine and feminine, neuter, and does that apply to objects? Does that apply to individuals? Does that apply to titles? I think that's something that, yeah. There you go. B4 has been doing some plugin stuff. Oh, hey, here's Nick. He says, yeah, if you want to be amazed, boot up the client in French or German mode, run around, and the differences are crazy. Like some of the names are different. The regions are different, named differently in some cases. But it's like there's titles that in English, it's just like, like disciple of Bose. But let's say if you translate that into a language that is very heavily influenced with, is something masculine, something feminine, well, it wouldn't be disciple of Bose. It would be like, disciple, E, because it's the male character, disciple A, because it's a female character, right? Like every single one of those has to be taken into account. So I am glad that I don't have to do that work because that is a crazy, crazy amount of work to do. But okay, so back to the language thing though, is if you are a non-native English speaker, I would say try to find a server that has other people that speak the language that you speak. And the easiest way to be able to look at where you are in the world. So if you are in like Europe or Africa or Asia, I would say check the EU servers because that's where you're more likely to find people that are going to be speaking your language there. If you're in North America, South America, Central America, any of those areas, I would say pick a US server. Just because of the time of day, you're more likely to find people aligning themselves up with those servers. Because there are Dutch kins, there are Spanish kinships, there are Czech speaking kinships. People will gather together. Yeah, there's French servers even. There's German servers. So if those are your languages, you could easily go to one of those. So I would say that is if that is one of the things that is also causing you trouble is the language barrier, find kinships that speak the language that are based on, that are like, hey, we're a French speaking kinship. Obviously they would say it in French. And that would really help you as well. Yeah, that's true. Weir Will is also pointing out there are language specific kins and discords. So it's really interesting because there used to be a lot, there used to be like, I think a Russian server. And then that was when they did a bunch of server shutdowns, they migrated people. And so a lot of the Russian speaking players went to Evernight. And so if you're on Evernight, you'll find a lot of Russian speakers and Brandywine. You'll find a lot of Russian speaking people on Brandywine as well. Although I would suggest Evernight over Brandywine because I like Evernight better. That's just my personal opinion, though. And yeah, if you're running around with some of those folks, like a lot of times they're just like, can you explain what is going on here? Like they're really nice people to quest with, and they're just like really happy to have someone who is interested in questing with them. So yeah, I would. That would be my advice: is if you're having some frustration based just on the language barrier, is try to find a server that has a kinship and maybe find some discords that are Lotro specific that might help you. Help you find a group that is speaking the language that you're speaking, because then you can quest together, and there'll be somebody in the group who's probably a little bit more fluent in English than you are, and so you'll be like, "What is that?" And they'll be like, "Oh, it's the blah blah blah. They're trying to do this." And you're like, "Oh, now that makes sense." So hopefully that would help out. Yeah, it is interesting to note how things just are received differently just because of the culture that you grow up in or the language that you speak or both. So, all right, so I'm going to finish this one off. Mr. Haybank, meet. He says, oh, this is the vector questy here, where they're like, sending us off to meet Adso. He's like, oh, I've been hearing a lot about you, probably because we did a bunch of quests for him. My associates in Buckland sent along a message about your work. They speak very highly of you. I'm glad to finally meet you. He kind of forgot about us. Word that circumstances were better, but no reason to bother you with that now. This, once finished, will be my inn, a dream I've had for years, an inn that would attract the big folk and hobbits alike. You have helped me come one step closer in my dream, and for that I am in your debt. So I would love, we were talking about this yesterday, like a series of instances or like further adventures that they've been putting together, these further adventures where you take a storyline. I would love to see a storyline in which we get to rebuild or finish building Adso's camp and maybe Thornley's worksite, which is north of Bree. Because these have been, he's been trying to build this place for over 14 years. Come on, give the guy a break. Yeah. Because you lack you understand everything in the game, but if you don't have the fluency of a native speaker, you lose the immersion. That's not a problem for many people that just play for PvP or instances, but the way you play, it ruins your experience because you lack the advanced vocabulary. When you read a quest, you understand it, except a word, then you lose the details, and the details are what makes it interesting. Yeah, I guess I could see that. Yeah, I don't know. Like, we've picked up Lord of the Rings in Dutch. We haven't gotten very far with it because our Dutch proficiency is pretty low still. But just because, we wanted to see how it differs, how does a language express something that we would understand from the English version, like how is it expressed in the Dutch version, and trying to understand the nuances of that. I don't know. I mean, I guess part of it too is like, if you've read the books, you can kind of see how things fit in. Another thing that's really helped me recently, though, is I've been listening to the Tolkien professor, his name is Corey, and he streams here on Fridays, and he's very deep into the lore, and there's times when he'll point something out in the game and be like, well, this is a parallel to this other thing that they're talking about, in this storyline in the books. And I'm like, wow, I just had not made that connection. But absolutely, now I see it, right? And like about how sometimes people are like, why would there be wolves in the Shire? That's like, not normal. And like Corey would point out, well, at the time, like you've got Frodo and them leaving the Shire, and we already know that there are outside forces that are coming into play in all parts of the world. And so when Gandalf is like, you're going to need to do this, and Frodo's like, can't I just stay home and not do it? Basically, yes, he could have just stayed home and done nothing, but that wouldn't have stopped things, right? Like the outside world was encroaching on the Shire already. And so like there's quests in Lotro where there's this whole pipeweed thing about how pipeweed has been finding its way out of the Shire and making its way to Isengard. And you're like, what? That just seems outlandish. But then you kind of look at it and realize that, Sauron and Saruman have been, having having influence on groups to go off and prey on those who are weaker than them. Like you get this whole quest line in Breland where down in this area where they've got the brigands and the orcs, the half orcs that are stopping people who are coming in with goods and stuff and stealing those things, right, and taking them from them. Because this is one of their ways to control the area and to control the people. And so the wolves are coming into the Shire, the brigands are coming into the Shire, like things are happening. And so it's really interesting that the game is able to take those nuggets that you find, those little scant details, and then apply it in different ways in the game, in ways that illustrate those things. So that might be something that, spending time with seeing some of that other background might then, when you encounter a quest, you might be like, aha, I see how this fits into the greater story, even if you don't get word for word on it. I don't know. But yeah, I get it, because like context can be like, there's so many idioms and so many like turns of a phrase. Like for example, I'm like in communication with the lady who owns the local yarn store here in Arnhem, and where we are in the Netherlands, and she like responded to an email where I was like, hey, I want to get some yarn, and she was like, yes, yes, English, and then Dutch, 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 and so I take the Dutch and I put it into Translate, and it comes off with something where it was something like, we'll get out of here. And I'm like, I am certain that's not what she's saying, right? I'm certain she's not saying, we're going to leave. So, yeah, just like a couple of words here and there. And if there's a misspelling somewhere, Translate's like, comes up with all sorts of crazy stuff. And knowing some of those little idioms, it just makes it, yeah. So, but yes, for me, getting more immersed in the lore has helped me to see how the quests play in with the actual Lord of the Rings. So maybe that would be another kind of way to sneak your way into, maybe the parts where the text doesn't quite resonate for you, but the intention behind the quest might be more clear. So I started watching some of Corey's original videos. I don't know if I have quick access to that YouTube list, but it's Signum University is what they're under. So I'll put that there. B4's got great Google foo, so he's going to try and take a quick look, and it's like something like the Tolkien Professor, something is usually what it starts off with. So I started watching those from the beginning because he gets a lot more into, the beginning parts of the lore in those early ones than he does in the ones that he's doing now. And plus he's also questing in later areas in the game than he was then. So his focus is slightly different, I think, at this point. So I'm doing some of my class quests. I'm like clicking on things here. I will do that. So, okay. So I think, though, we are going to start to wrap up here. Okay, there you go. Exploring the Lord of the Rings with the Tolkien Professor. So take a look at that and see if some of that, if you don't have to, obviously, but it's something I would say might be fun. And then it is backwards. It has, you'll have to scroll all the way to the bottom to get to the first one. It's, it's not, and sometimes they're out of order as well. So sometimes you'll be watching along and it's like, you want, episode number 4, and it's like the next one it plays is episode number 7. And you're like, hang on. So you'll have to pay attention to that sometimes. But, YouTube's funny. All right. So I think, anyway, we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks for the really good discussion, though. This has been, it's been fun to kind of try to see if we can help troubleshoot some of what you're experiencing. Because as you can tell, so many of us really love the game, and we love the lore, and we love being able to like step into these books and immerse ourselves in the environment. And so I love that. Like I play on Laurelin sometimes, which is a role-playing server where the majority of the people who are there and acting as if they are part of the world. And that, I just love the immersion of that. I think it just, it makes me really happy. So, okay, so next week we'll probably be back here on Treebeard, because I'm really enjoying the experience that I'm having on Treebeard, and I'm hoping that sharing that experience with all of you is also fun for you. So we'll be back here on Treebeard. We've got some non-festival time for the next few weeks, like I said, and then starting at the beginning of August, there's Hobnanigans the first weekend of August, but I won't be here, so you'll have to go hobnanning without me. And then the second Thursday of August, I will be back, and we will be doing the Farmers Fair. So we'll do a couple more weeks of Treebeard. We'll take a 1 week off, and then we'll jump into the Farmers Fair. So that'll be great. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Come back next week. Bring your questions and your thoughts, and the community would just jump in and help each other out. So thanks for joining me on this journey today and through the old forest. And I hope, so as you can tell, I really enjoy my time in Middle-earth. And so I hope you get the chance to enjoy it as much as I do. And I hope you found the stream enjoyable and informative. So wherever you go and whatever you do, I encourage you to stay connected to the Hobbit side of your heart. All right. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Bye-bye.